Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I'm not in a suit and tie because we're moving, we're shifting one office to another and another office to this office. Uh, but I want to get on here real quick to answer some questions that are here on YouTube, some very good questions. But before I get started, I want to thank someone, and this has to be a YouTube person. Look at this. They saw the speed racer car back there, and the person sent this to me. I'm not going to say your last name, but it's Eric in Arizona. Eric in Arizona. And uh, when first of all, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. And you don't even know, first of all, well, maybe you do know because that's why you sent it. It means a lot to me. When you get older, you start reaching back to kind of your childhood and the memories and things. And it means a lot to me to receive this. I want to thank you. And also, everybody just don't know how much I wanted to just open this up and touch this card because it has the detail in it. Like this thing is like this here. He didn't have to do this, but I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I want to touch it and I want to flip it over because I know that this has everything that it had in the cartoon. I'm a big time speed racer fan. This was Eric in Arizona. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And when I got it, you want to know what something that happened to me yesterday that kind of reminded me that when you have a lot financially, that there's certain things that bring you uh, joy and pleasure. Is like the very little things that people can do for you. And there was something that happened with my grandson yesterday. I was at home and he was like Ange, and they call me Ange. My grandchildren call me Andrew or Ange, and my daughter called me Angie. I don't know, but that's my middle name. And but he whenever one of them was going to a dentist appointment, and the other one, the younger one, was with us, uh, Everett, and he soon as he came into the house, I think he's about to be 2 years old. He comes in, they both would always come in and they open up this bag of blocks and they just dump them. And he did that like he always did. But he was like, come down, get on the floor with me down here. Like, Ange, come down here. Ange, come down, get down. And so I just stopped. I was doing some work before they got there. I just stopped. I called my office and I said, y'all take care of this that I was doing at home. And I just sat there until he was like, tired of me. And then really, he didn't get tired of me. We just kept building the blocks, and then he would tear them down, build the blocks. He would just scramble them, tear them down. And but what that made me do is, again, it just the appreciation of the time, appreciate, because in a way that's like he's giving me a gift, like Eric gave me a gift. It's like he's giving me a gift to just calm your butt down, get on the ground, and slow down and enjoy me right here with you. So we all need to pay attention to that. And some of you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with credit and debt and all that? It has a lot to do with it because a lot of people can't even calm down. A lot of people can't even relax because they have issues that are just taking their whole consciousness, that makes them angry because they have problems either financially or with their credit. Like they're under so much stress. In my area, I'm going to be doing a workshop where this rental company totally devastated. They're being sued by our state. they devastated the community that I'm in with some of their tactics on with collecting from renters. Now, I'm not talking about where you disregard and you don't pay. You gotta, they're in business and a landlord needs to be paid. But there was like showing people where these people's properties were like stuff peeling off the wall, sinks and stuff not working. And you might be saying, well, why are people taking that? I don't know, and I'm not going to answer that question because I don't know. I'm not going to sit myself in their seat and say, why would you even stay there in those conditions? But I know that if you put a bridge over from someone being in that condition to someone that's not in that condition, living condition, it has a lot to do with finances, have a lot to do with credit, a lot to do with it. Because they can't move forward. They can't even get the car started to get out of that situation because they got bad credit and they got debt issues. So now let's talk about here are some questions that we got. Someone said that they had something with court that said, you're straight up, straightforward with your advice, truly helped me. I didn't end up going to court, but got $18,000 of personal debt removed because the debt collector didn't provide an appropriate response to my debt validation. No gimmicks, no complex programs, expensive solutions, just tried and true advice. Thank you. And that's from the God Emperor. That I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because what I tell people to do, like the thing about it is that there's no secret, but the secret is that you got to you got to like implement it. That's really the secret. It's like you got to trust that something that you don't know nothing about is going to have a chance of working. We got another question here. Um, I have a creditor attempting to sue me the second time. The first time they were a debt buyer. Now they are assigned by the original creditor. Is that legal? Let me tell you, the assignment is another debt buyer. It's not from the original creditor trying to sue you. The assignment is a new debt buyer. Now, from the first debt buyer, my question is, did you submit a response to the court summons and then they dismissed that case? Because if they did, what you want to do is you want to use that same information with this new debt buyer, because what they did is they just sent it back to the portfolio company. The portfolio company sold it to a new debt collector. If you did not, and it's they just where they just dropped it because of whatever reason, you don't know because you didn't go to court, um, then you're going to have to respond to the summons and you're going to have to send them do a validation of the debt. You want the contract, you want to have them prove how they got your personal information, you want to have them prove every amount of the claim that they're trying to say you owe, all of the charges, if it's a credit card or if it's a repo, you want to get the auction statement, you want to get everything lined up in that response and send it to the court, and you got to send them a copy, and you got to answer everything in that summons or that complaint. Got to answer every point, even if it's true. And then you get that over to them, and this could potentially stop them from coming after you. But to answer your question, yes, they can resubmit, uh, because one, it didn't get finished, or no, it was only just dismissed, and it was probably not, it was dismissed without prejudice, which means that they can come back, and either they can come back or they can sell it to someone else and they can come back at you. So yes, they can. um, we got another question here. Let's see here. Don't know why. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got a lot of spam uh, people on here. Don't call any numbers, no WhatsApp and all of that stuff. That is not me. Those are not me. Um, those are not me. Okay. Uh, what do you think a charge is? Is a debt that they're claiming is owed, and sometimes a warrant is placed out on that debt ticket charge. I'm not sure about that question. I'm not sure about that question, but uh, when they say a warrant, some states, Minnesota, they can put a warrant out for your arrest if you do not answer. They can do it in all states, but you just don't see it done in most. You see it done in some of the southern states, and Minnesota was one, and Michigan is one, where for some reason the debt collectors just feel emboldened, and it's potentially because of the state laws in those areas that if you don't answer the summons, that they will actually ask the judge to put a warrant for your arrest. Now, the arrest is not to like keep you in jail; it's just to bring you in and have you answer to the debt. As soon as you say, even if you say, "I don't know what I'm going to do about it," they release you. So it's not like you're put in the jet in the jail. There is no debtor's prison. Sometime on one of my other videos, someone thought that I was saying that there was a debtor's prison. There is no debtor's prison, but they will arrest people, make them come in front of a judge, say, what is your answers to this? Most debt collectors won't do that. They won't go that far. This is a civil matter, but only the worst of the worst debt collectors do it. And I've only seen it down south. I did a video on it. ACLU showed where debt collectors were doing it for payday loans and stuff like that that were like $100, $200. And I've seen it done in Michigan, and I've seen it done in Minnesota. And you want to know the crazy thing about it? This is crazy thing. Let me take a drink here. Crazy thing about it is that I've seen them do this to people who have small debts. And I got some clients, business owner clients, and this is on their personal debt that have 200,000 in bad debt with credit card companies. $150,000, 60,000, 30, 40, and they don't do anything to them that like how they attack the people who they know don't have the money. It's like it's the reverse. It's like what we see a lot in our society where the the people with the money that can fight back are the ones that they don't usually come at as hard. Yeah, they do try to get the money. They do try to find their assets and stuff like that, but they don't come at them as hard. It's like they try to come at them like, okay, let's see what assets they have and if we can attach them. And even with that, I've seen where with one of my clients, he owns a repair shop. They actually went into his account and took like $10,000, and then they had to give it back when got the attorney involved and had to give the money back. They had to start over with their court uh, uh, complaint, start it all over, get the money back, start it all over, and go through the process because that client had money to fight. But the people who don't have the money to fight, they just it's like they go at them hard for like 1,000, 2,000, $3,000. So that's strange. All right, let's go into the debt that's being released on the market. Um, you know, they're actually doing some seminars now. They're actually uh, doing seminars teaching new debt collectors how to buy these older portfolios to get started on collecting these old debts. So here's a portfolio. This is from major banks, major credit card holding banks. $20 million, 2,300 accounts, average charge-off date 2006, average balance $8,500, and it's Experian batch. I don't know if I got back on, well, I did mention it in the other video. It's Experian batch. Let me tell you what that means. When they say batch, and I just asked them a question, hey, what do you mean by that? Uh, when they say that it's an Experian batch, TransUnion batch, Equifax batch, that means that they've already done the tracing on the individual. So all 2,329 people that have this debt that is uncollectible legally, if a person knows their rights, except for one state, they got no, 100%. This is past the 15-year statute, even for Rhode Island. Um, that is Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island. Um, so this debt is 100% not collectible legally. But it's Experian batch. This is what that means. When they say Experian or TransUnion or Equifax batch, that means that they've already traced the person's job. They've already traced their address, like verified. They've already traced their references. They've already traced everything to go. All they have to do is just start going after this debt. So these companies are just going to be very aggressive. Like this is what they're gonna like be opening up the floodgates on this because there's so much debt that's being released in the market. This is old debt. There's portfolios that are coming with newer debt, and I tell you what to do with the newer debt. You're gonna have to be prepared to respond to the newer debt that is not past statute of limitation, and then this debt especially. I don't want any of you paying a debt collector anything on a debt that you legally don't have to pay. And it's not about running from the debt, it's what you legally have to pay. They're only coming after you to make it a legal debt. They expect you not to know that you don't have to legally pay it by using certain terms like time barred. You know, time barred means past statute of limitations. So now let's talk about the solution. For you that haven't heard me go over this, the first thing that you got to do when you get a letter from a debt collector, and you can't disregard this letter, because if you disregard it, you're allowing them to go to step number 2, which is to place it on your credit reports, which will cause you harm because you have a collection on your credit reports. Like we just talked about, the people who can't even get the engine started is because they allow this type of stuff to happen. So the first thing you need to do is, if you get a letter from a debt collector, you need to challenge that letter. If you look at it, it is not just a bill or a statement. They're actually communicating with you to see if you want to dispute it, or if it's not you, whatever, all or a portion of that debt. No matter what, you respond to that debt collector with a cease. Well, first thing you do is you make sure you want to look at the original creditor and see when the charge off date for that debt was. So step number 1, when was it charged off? Step number 2, look at your state statute of limitations laws on debt. It's different for all the states. If it's past the legal statute of limitations, that means that it's past when the account went bad, when it was charged off for a credit card, or the last, when they considered it bad for a repo, that date. And then you want to see your state statute of limitation. If it's past that date, if it's 1 day past that date, you do not have to legally pay it. All you have to do is notify them that they're attempting to collect a debt that is legally past the statute of limitations to collect in your state. That's all you have to do. If it was done from another state and you moved, you just look and see which one benefits you the most, and then you send them the letter again. You send them the letter pertaining to the state that the debt originated in, or if you're living in a new state, because they have to sue you in the state that you're in, then you tell them, according to the state that I live in, this debt is past legal statute of limitations to collect. That's all you have to do. I give you that letter. The link to that letter is below this video. If it is not past the legal statute of limitations to collect, and also you can go and look up the state statute of limitations online, or you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, on my blog, type in statute of limitations, and it will take you to a page to look at the statute of limitations for all 50 states. Credit card is in column number 4. Regular loans and payday loans and stuff like that, that's not open-ended, not something that you can charge and then recharge. That's in column number 2. And yes, it can be different for credit cards in some states. Um, so if it's not past the legal statute of limitations, then what you want to do is you want to send a cease and desist collection activities letter. This is a letter that you can send to them that will make them know that if they try to come after you for this debt, regardless of the statute of limitations, even though we're not mentioning that because you know that it's not past the statute of limitations, but you want them to think about what you're going to challenge them on if they try to attempt to collect that debt. Most debt collectors will cease collection activities when they get that because they know that they can't get all of that information. They bought this from a third party portfolio buyer. Debt collectors, unless it's the major ones, cannot go to the portfolio, to the credit card companies or the uh, they don't buy massive amounts of debt that way. They have to go to portfolio companies. There's basically only like 4 portfolio companies that really buy these types of debts. And then they sell them or they assign them to smaller debt collectors in certain states. And then they split the profits. So they, even with the major portfolio companies, they can't go back to the original creditor and get more information. Because number one, some of the information that they try to get, they will not give to them because it's against the privacy rights to even give them that information. That's why when you look at it, the account number is not even a complete account number. These are problems. And when you raise those problems, either if they're trying to sue you in court or just with that simple letter that they're bringing to you and you respond to it, they will usually stop coming after you. So I give you that letter, the cease and desist collection activities letter, and then I give you another letter, the debt validation letter. The reason why I give you the debt validation letter is because if they try to come back with that cease and desist, then you send that debt validation to step it up a notch. And then there's usually a back and forth. And what I found is that they will not come at you with a lawsuit. It might be a lot of back and forth, or they might try to resell it like they did with this YouTube subscriber who mentioned that a debt collector tried to come after them and then they sent it back, and then now another one is coming after them. It's because you asked them questions. You didn't just run from it. You ask them questions that they don't have answers for. That's the reason why. All right, let's end it here. I'm gonna have to get to packing some boxes here. Thanks again to Eric, Arizona. I'm not gonna open it. I want to open it because I want to look at all the detail in here. I want to open it. I want to open it. But Eric, you better bet 25, 30 years from now, if I'm still making videos, you will be able to ask me to show you this and I'll still have it. I'll still have it. Thank you again, Eric. All right, if you need help with your credit, go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, where I show you my 8-point validation process and my two-phase settlement process. And I'm telling you, with that process, it works. We put in the work and we grind it. It's a grind to get it done. It's like working out. It's a grind. I see it every day with my staff. I see it every day. They are grinding for customers. You will know that we're doing the work because you get alerts that we're doing the work. And we're hitting it from the furnishers and we're hitting it with the bureaus. Both. You're going to get some action. I can't tell you what the action will be, but I will tell you that you will get action. And as long as action is happening, action builds upon other action, it builds upon another action, and you will get the result that you want. But just depending on what mountain we got to climb for you or together, it could take longer or it could be shorter. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. That's where you can get your reports. If you don't, even if you're not going to be a customer with me, go there because it helps me monetize my time for being here on the channel. Go there and get those reports, all three. Look at everything that's on there so you can know what those bureaus are passing on to collectors. And then the letters are below here, and also links to those letters, the three letters that I mentioned, and links to other services that I provide are below this video. Thank you. Have a great day. I will speak to you before the holidays. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com.